We have made it to episode 20, and this week we're flipping the script to ask you guys some questions about the game. But first, let's get to some Steep news.
The snowboard's been waxed and the chocolate is hot. STEEPCAST reporting with you live from the top of Mount Blanc. Snow missed me, making you miss me. Cause I'm hucking a dub 12, I throw it into a misty. I'm a hunter, knuckle huck a motherfucker.
Our snowboard knuckle huck submissions have closed and we received 41 entries. That means we will have 3 videos coming to you, and the tentative dates are on screen now. Because we received so many submissions, the qualifiers will be split into 2 videos and will premiere on Saturday and Sunday, May 30th and 31st. The top 10 finals will be live the weekend after on Saturday, June 6th. All of those videos will be on our YouTube channel as live premieres at 1 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central European Time.
And did anyone notice that brand new Tartiflette Games logo up in the corner? We gave it a fresh makeover this weekend, and I have to say, I think I'm in love.
We are also gearing up for the Real Ski competition. The announcement should be coming this Saturday, the 23rd. We'll hopefully have a video up that day. Stay tuned on our YouTube channel and in our Discord.
Steep has a new top 5 video. You can find that link down in our description. He is currently sitting at 49,600 subs. I mean, that is just unreal. And Game recognizes game here, so if you haven't already, please go and subscribe to Steep's channel. This man is a Ripper legend, and he deserves all of your support. We also have the top 3 runs from Check My Steez 7. Congrats to Sir Cholex taking first place, followed by Flair in second and Dudeship in third. Check My Steez 8 is going down in Sapporo, and those submissions are now open. The Legion Riders season is going through June, so if you haven't already, go check out those 7 season specials and the PvP playlists that are now available in multiplayer mode. And finally, the Steep World Tour tournament closes today. Competitors will be receiving the DeadSec jacket, scarf, and 10,000 credits. The top 100 riders will now face off at Street Styler in Alaska from May 22nd through the 24th. Prizes up for grabs include the DeadSec snowboard along with 50,000 credits for first, 25,000 for second, and 12,500 for third place. Best of luck to all the finalists. And now, it's time for the Reddit Roundup!
Our first pick this week was from Snow SX3 called Sledding Wasn't the Best Idea, and you just have to watch this whole thing. I love the voice acting that went into it.
Oh no, not a
What the hell are you doing?
The next picture comes from Sam Horrigan meeting his maker on the mountain. If you're a scrub like me and have never met this goat on the mountain, you can find it at the end of Zlatarog Path. Those coordinates are 468 south, 2719 west.
We got a full moon picture from Yomguy TYVY. This reminds me of an kind of indie slasher thriller movie poster with the weird dark yellow tinted ambiance, or maybe a Japanese samurai movie.
Next up, we have an awesome evening shot from Valexar in mid-rotation. That logo that you see on the board there, not a lot of people see that in the game. It's kind of hidden throughout, but I really want that as a tattoo. I really love that tribal totem-looking logo for the game.
And finally, we have another killer montage from Genocide TV with the song Colors by the Black Pumas, so check out the full video, link down below.
Let's get a round of applause for those wonderful submissions. Thank you to everyone on Reddit who let us use their content this week. And now it's time to flip the script. To celebrate our 20th video, we asked our listeners to answer some questions that we had for them. So without further ado, let's get into it and hear what you guys have to say about Steep. We have to give praise where praise is due, so thank you to our friend Chris for suggesting this main topic. We started out with a simple one. what's your favorite sport on the mountain? And 82% of you chose ski. I didn't realize how drastic of a difference there was between ski and snowboard. I feel like I'm pretty 50-50.
This one was a bit surprising. Snowboard came in with the 13%, and then one person picked wingsuit. I imagine that was Kerr, wingsuit man. And even more surprising, no one picked sled, considering how much every time I mention something bad about the sled, you all say sled gang.
Yeah, where's sled gang now, huh?
And speaking of an overwhelming majority, your favorite mountain, 70%, well, 69.6, nice, was Asia. And then Alaska was second before Alps ringing in third.
I'm just glad that I'm in good company with my decision of Asia being the best map in the game.
For me, it would be a toss-up between the Alps and Asia. I love the design of the Alps, how different they all are and how much there is to do, but Asia by far has the best snow parks.
Asia has the best landscape and the best snow. I mean, all that powder, are you kidding me? It's heaven.
Our first open-ended question was, what do you like most about Steep? Again, the majority of you said the community, the snow parks, and how open the game is with all of the possibilities of what you can do.
It's wonderful to see our community taking the creative edge and running with it. I mean, we talk about it all the time. This whole channel is based off of just being creative in this game. There are limitless opportunities on that mountain to do something fresh that no one has ever seen before. And it's great to see that the community recognizes that as well. It's not just us. We asked for the good, so we had to ask for the bad as well. We wanted to know, what do you dislike most about Steep? A lot of the responses I saw played off of your likes of the game, and that had to do with the creativity aspect. A bunch of you were asking for a better replay mode. You don't enjoy the experience you get during the replays. We also saw a few comments about the lack of customization, such as grabs. You can't customize grabs. They all have to be pre-made grabs that the game provides you. And things like the multiplayer mode, how it's still kind of a mess and it's a little difficult to really get into it and grind a long session. And I agree with that. I know that it's the newest feature in the game. Multiplayer mode has a lot to offer, but it just hasn't gotten there yet, and that's fine. Give it time, maybe it'll get better. We can hope.
There's also some dislike towards the point system that's in the game, and that there are quite a few of the records that have cheated scores where they're impossible to beat. But I do agree with the replay editor. I feel like there could be much more expanded on there, but I'm glad it's at least in the game to start with. Moving on to features that you want added to Steep, the biggest one is, of course, the park creator or park builder, where you could add your own jumps, ramps, half pipes, rails, whatever. You also want to see more areas added, more parks, maybe some real ones. I saw ski lifts pop up, so maybe people like that idea after all. Some houses or little resort areas to walk around, and a place to meet different people where you can kind of buy skis and other things.
I've had dreams about riding Park City in the game. I would love nothing more than for Park City to be added to the game. Park City, if you're listening, give our friends in France a call.
For a favorite song, no one picked Worker Bees, so we're not even going to talk about it.
Next.
About half of the people said they don't really listen to the soundtrack anymore, and I saw one of the complaints about that is that whenever you're trying to do the challenges that have a song attached to it, every time you restart the challenge, the song restarts. So I think it would be a good idea in general to not have so many songs tied to the challenges at the start of the game.
Yeah, I can get behind that. It is kind of low-key torture. Next up, we asked what your favorite challenge was, and we saw a lot of you picking the Asahi Snow Park, which makes my heart happy because that's the home of the Tartiflette games, if you didn't already know.
The other big one were the creamy lines and the different free ride challenges that are out there.
Okay, so we get rid of the sled because Sled Gang, no one showed up. You do not have a say in this. We get rid of the sled. What sport would you add to the game?
A whole whack of you responded snowmobile, including someone asking, is snowmobile considered a sport? Well, is NASCAR considered a sport? I don't know the answer to that either, so...
Hell yes, snowmobiling is a sport. Do you even X Games, bro? People are flipping those things day in and day out. It's incredible. We also had a submission that was downhill ice skating, and it just made me laugh because it reminded me of my Olympics picture, the downhill free running competition.
We also saw some creative ones like rock climbing, paintball, snow scooter, snow blades, and frisbee golf. Not gonna lie, I would love a full-fledged frisbee golf game.
We also saw one asking for snow mountain bike. And I don't know if you have seen these videos, but I go down a YouTube hole maybe once a month watching these guys scale the sides of glaciers on mountain bikes with studded nail tires. It is the most terrifying thing I've ever watched, and I am so attracted to it. I would love to do that in the game.
We also asked if you play solo or with friends. About 60% of you said that you play a mix of the two. Some of you with friends, and then about 35% play solo. And for when you started playing, about 30% either started around the alpha, beta, or right at release. Another big chunk joined in 2018, about 40%, so that falls in line with the Olympics. And then at least one of you started in 2020, so good to see some new faces.
Hi there. Welcome to our club. It's nice to have you. And now it's time for the roast of Nick and Mitch. Are there any changes or recommendations that you would have to improve the STEEPCAST? Well, right off the bat, I can say I can't make the Reddit roundup any louder. I am trying my darndest and have been living for the past 20 weeks with a slightly sore throat. I am doing this for you guys. I love all of you, but I can't go any louder.
I think next time I'll just crank the EQ up so it just blows out everyone's speakers. Some other cool ones I saw, maybe a record of the week section where we go over and drop jaws on a new all-time score or time. That could be fun for a couple. Some fun facts in between sections. I can definitely add in some random fun facts about our history of being friends.
Oh yeah, that's a deep catalog. We can absolutely do that. I mean, we already have the quick questions with Chris every once in a while, and people are just learning everything about us, so why not throw it all out there?
I saw something about a ranking system at the end where people earn points from weekly challenges and knuckle hucks and different events and get more points to earn. I don't know about weekly challenges specifically, but I was kind of thinking about this for the Tartiflette games last night, where we can kind of assign points like the FedEx Cup or is it the NASCAR Sprint Series to see who's consistently finishing at the top of the leaderboard.
Oh, that would be really cool. I like that, especially when we start moving away from the knuckle huck into like real ski and different competitions, seeing if there's any tracking of top riders.
Someone said more community suggestions, contest ideas. I'm always open to taking stuff if you have anything to add. Invite more people, either Yetis or community via Skype. Maybe get a snowboarder or skier to do an interview. All of that stuff would be great.
Yeah, all wonderful recommendations, and we will take a lot of these into account, but there's one that I don't think we will, and that's face cams.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that a few times, but I really don't want to have to get myself ready and look pretty for every single STEEPCAST. Right now I'm still in my PJs and I just ate a Korean barbecue bowl that's kind of all over my face and beard, so it wouldn't look the best.
Oh, and especially now during quarantine, I look like a raccoon that just fell out of a 20-story building.
I think I'm going crazy enough that I might shave my head into a mullet at some point, so we need these hair places to open up soon.
Okay, if you get yourself a mullet, we have to do a face cam episode. Everyone, please head over to Discord right now and start yelling at Mitch that he has to get a mullet.
That was most of the suggestions I saw, but a lot of them are just compliments on you guys enjoying STEEPCAST and to keep it up, so thank you for all of those.
We had one more question at the end that was any other comments, questions, or concerns, and the only one that I really cared about, and we can fix this right now. Mitch?
I knew it would come down to this. Here we go.
You need to say his name properly. You need to make up for that error that you had in his third run of the Tartiflette games. I mean, you got it right the first two times. I don't understand what happened the third, but this is the time to make it right.
Are you ready for this? Pollo Locho.
Close enough. And to whoever asked, where is Nick's Check My Steez? Guys, you do not want to see Nick's Check My Steez. There is a reason why 8 have gone by and I have not submitted a single one. I am a miserable rider in the game, but maybe for Check My Steez 10, I will submit and we'll let you guys see how horrid I am up on the mountain. Get ready for a lot of tweaks and a lot of backflips.
Thanks to all 23 of you that filled out the survey, gave us something fun to talk about here for episode 20. Now it's time to roll on over to the weekly challenge. Last week, apparently I mixed up the Lucases that we have in the community, so Lucas was the last week picture, and Lucas also submitted a How Did I Get Here too, so you can see that video playing right now. He's stuck up in the air. I've seen this glitch happen a few different times, and it is always funny.
And now let's throw it over to our snowboard knuckle huck submissions for this week. We have a lot, so hang tight, here we go. For sake of time, since we took a lot of it up in the main topic this week, we're kind of going to rifle through these. Thank you to the Space Clump, Lucas, Flare, Steep Police, Steep Clips, Searcholex, Lucas, and Elmo.
Those are all great pictures. Be sure to submit for next week's category, Limbo, and then in 2 weeks we will go urban in honor of the real ski competition.
Hey, hi, hello there. So when I was editing this, I realized that my computer decided not to save a small portion of this episode, so we're just going to go ahead and re-record it right now. You can submit those weekly challenges, as always, to our Discord page or our Twitter at Nick or Mitch using the hashtag STEEPCAST. And then I think I said something, I was trying to be funny, but I was probably the only person that laughed at it. But anyway, let's go to questions and answers. Guess what? The first part of this question wasn't recorded either. It came from Steep Clips Germany, and he was asking, what do we think about an alternative summer mode which you can turn on or off with mountain biking, etc.? I took a quick pause to think about my answer, and instead I asked another question.
Do you think it would be a good idea to make this seasonal real time? So, for 2 seasons out of the year, you have no snow on the mountains, and those other 2, it's completely covered. And I'm sure that would aggravate a lot of people. And yeah, you could have a toggle switch in offline mode to change the mountains, but they force you to play different disciplines throughout the year.
I think that would be really cool if they pulled it off where you could kind of either go to different mountains based in different sports, or if you just kind of switch between the two. I just don't know how many sports you can add without it getting too overwhelming or starting to split up the community. I don't think that they should lock it to real time. That's getting into Animal Crossing territory, which becomes frustrating very quick.
Yeah, how are the turnip stocks? We have Animal Crossing Jeff Bezos here on the other line with us. Jeff, how's it going over there?
I don't want to see a turnip ever again.
The dude's a madman.
I gave up on the market after rolling in about 6 million bells in game.
I don't even have the recipe for an axe yet. That's how far I've made it in that game. Mitch is over here buying and selling islands like he's, I don't know, Nicolas Cage before he went bankrupt.
Anyways, we got a question from Chris Wan as well, or should I say questions? But first, he voiced his frustration with Fortnite. So just for you, Chris, earlier today I was playing Fortnite with Steep Clips Germany, so anyone that wants to play, hit me up, Hammerhead29.
Yeah, Small Boy 3, you know what it is. We're dropping every single night. Dubs only.
For his fast questions, he asked pineapple on pizza, yeah or nah?
Oh, hell yeah, bud, all day!
Yeah, sometimes. For whiskey, he asked bourbon, scotch, or malt.
I drank a lot of Jack Daniels when I was a freshman in college, but I kind of pivoted to beer after I turned 21.
Well, when you give me those 3 options, I'm gonna go scotch, but funny you bring up whiskey right now, because I am drinking my favorite whiskey right now, a Pennsylvania Rye, in a Sazerac cocktail, which contains the whiskey, simple syrup, absinthe, and bitters.
Ooh, spicy. Next up, he asks us Lindsey Vonn or Michaela Schifrin. This is an inside joke from our trip to the studio, but Lindsey Vonn.
And I'm going to go Michaela Schifrin. Sure, Lindsey Vonn has the most wins right now, but I guarantee that Michaela Schifrin is going to catch and beat that record. He also asked New York City or Los Angeles.
I hate New York City and wish to never return there. It's just too busy. Like, you can never catch your breath. That city is just always on, and it drives me insane. But LA, I would love to live there someday. So that's my answer. LA, all day, every day. No question.
Even though we have these great memories from New York City, I haven't been to LA yet, but I'd probably still lean towards LA. I think I would much rather be in that city than the hustle and bustle of New York. Plus, you got a way better beach. And the final speed round, during spring break, would you rather be drunk and know nothing about what happens, or clean as a duck and laughing about what other people do?
I don't know why, but I always find enjoyment in staying a little more sober than everybody else, and not necessarily babysitting 100%, but just making sure that everything goes according to plan and nobody dies. So I'm definitely the dad of the group, clean as a duck and laughing about all of the stuff that everybody else is doing. Mitch, on the other hand.
Well, I think now that I'm older, probably clean as a duck as well, because if we're on spring break and we're somewhere near water, I would much rather be driving the boat. With some regular questions, he asked, during which parts of developing the game should Ubisoft ask the fans for feedback, and what parts should we trust them on?
I think it should only be the things on the outside. It should be how it looks, what kind of sports you have, certain things like that aren't cutting away at what the developers want to achieve in the game.
I was gonna say they can ask the big general questions like what would you like to see in the game, like park editor or other parts, big idea concepts, and then let them focus on all of the little details and what exact direction they would want to take the game in.
Thank you for phrasing what I was trying to say differently so that it made sense.
Forever and always.
And we're going to end this video on a fun open-end question, another little sneak peek into our lives. What is your Al Bundy moment? When was a time that you just opened up and started screaming at someone that you shouldn't have been screaming at that place at that time? Like a boss or a customer or anyone like that was not truly deserving of you just unleashing the gates of hell on them.
Aside from tearing into Nick sometimes, no, but Nick usually deserves it. I would like to say I always maintain my composure, especially with customers, bosses, or pretty much anyone. It's just not my personality to go off on someone. The closest I've come was probably when I was a boat captain, and I've had a couple unruly passengers different times. But the closest I come is just give them, the stern talking to and tell them what the ramifications they face will be if they actually do something.
Mitch is the captain now. Jump in the river. No, I'm totally deserving of being yelled at sometimes. Sometimes I need that tough love to get the message through. But I am kind of a hothead from time to time. And one memory that comes to mind was when I was working in live sound back at home for a small company in Pittsburgh. I went to a show by myself and was running an event at an outdoor tiki bar. So it kind of had the feeling of a beach, but it was in the middle of the woods. So it was a bunch of people getting really drunk and listening to country music. And one of the fans of this local country band came up to me while I was running the show saying, hey, you need to make the guitar sound better, man. It doesn't sound like he sounds on the CD. Well, I've never heard this band's CD. I don't know what they sound like. I'm trying to make it the best I can with the equipment I have, which, by the way, was not my equipment. It was the house equipment that had been sitting outside day and night for weeks through rain and everything. And I didn't have enough time to set up and EQ the sound system the way I wanted it to. So I was fighting a lot of the equipment that I was using. So it was hard enough to get any sound out, regardless of making the guitar sounds exactly how the album sounded. So at the break, the band stepped off the stage and Up to this point, I had been screaming at this man, basically telling him, this is my job. You don't walk into an operating room and tell the surgeon how to do surgery. You shouldn't tell anyone how to do their job. That is their job to do in that moment. So the intermission comes up, and lo and behold, the band invites the guy that was giving me shit for the entire night up there to perform a song by himself. Well, guess whose microphone didn't turn on for the first couple of words? This is a lesson. This is a wonderful lesson that we can all learn. Never piss off your audio guy, because when you're on that stage, he is the captain. So, I didn't scream at him per se. I wasn't cursing and raising my voice at him, but I think that petty move of accidentally forgetting to turn on that microphone, wink, was enough to qualify for this.
Remind me to never critique your audio mixing on our videos.
Yeah, we have fun here, but don't forget it. Thank you guys so much for joining us for episode 20. Stay tuned to the channel because the Tartiflette Games Knucklehuck snowboard events are taking place in just about 10 days. I cannot wait. I am so excited to see these runs. They have been sitting on my Google Drive for a couple of days now, and I've resisted the urge to watch any of them. I can't wait to start recording these videos.
As always, stay up to date with all of our info by following us on Twitter @NickOrMitch or joining us in our Discord with the link down below. I'm Mitch.
And I'm Nick.
And we'll see yins on the slopes.